Alright, I know I just put out a video on these FDCs, but in true scribe form, what I've managed to do is miss a rather glaring problem with the upcoming FDCs, and perhaps I'm going a little bit overkill on this. Maybe I'm making a mountain out of a molehill, but has CG actually given, like straight up, given more stats on a paid for FDC, paid for with cash money, mind you, than you can get otherwise, organically? This is, in my opinion, it's just dumb. It's just like, where are we going with this? Moreover, more importantly, I think, is what does this actually mean for future trends on Datacrons? Because I don't like it. And this is what I'm talking about. Now, in isolation, I've got no problem with CG selling full-blown FDCs if some whale is hungry enough to drop $100 on just a focused Datacron that's maxed out. You know what? You could be my guest. Be my guest. You know, go crazy. You keep those lights on. However, they've never, to my knowledge, sold a focused Datacron that actually has more stats than what you can otherwise get. So bear in mind that this is based on the information that we have downloaded from Swigger.gg. They take it from the in-game files. We can't actually get these Datacron. Well, I mean, you can buy this FTC right now if you want to, but you can't really get them otherwise until this weekly store refreshes. But look at the stats here. 70% crit avoidance, 90% defense, 75% crit chance, 80% potency, 50% armor pen, and 40% offense. Let's cross-reference that with the Datacron that we supposedly get for Balin, the same Datacron with the same stats on everything else, the same level 15, 12, 9, 6, and 3. What are the stats like on that? So here we have it. You can see over here, if you take a look up here, variant Datacron set 28, focused Balin Skull, and over here you've got same thing, focused Balin Skull, upgraded. Now this is the purchase pack. You can see that the initial tiers is 15, and you can see that stat spread over here. 80% potency, 50% armor pen, 40% defense, yada yada yada. That's the one on the whale one that costs you $100. But if you go back over here, this is the one that we get to purchase from the store by using our store currency, essentially our episode currency, right? 100% potency, 75% tenacity, 100% defense, 70% crit avoidance. So let me just try and sort something out for you so you can see these side by side for a nice comparison. So here we go. We can compare them far easier here. Left side, you've got what do you get if you just buy it from the store. Right side is if you use your real cash money and drop $100. So what's happened? The one on the right hand side that you spend $100 has lost 20% potency. It's lost all of the tenacity, apparently. It's lost 10% of the defense, and it's got the same amount of critical avoidance. However, it has instead gained 50% armor penetration, 40% offense, and an additional 75% critical chance. The stats that it lost, in my personal opinion, is kind of irrelevant, right? You've got 100% potency. Oh, it's gone down to 80%. Do we really care about losing 20% potency? No, who would? Losing 75% tenacity. Is it nice to have 75% tenacity? Sure. Does it really make a massive difference? Absolutely not. Not personally, I don't think. I don't think anybody's like terrifically worried about getting shocked and stunned and ability blocked on a Balin Skull team. Certainly not in Grand Arena. And then losing 10% defense. That's the only one, in my opinion, that has a significant impact, is that it's lost 10% defense. And that's not a significant amount of defense to lose. But still, you lose 10% defense. But what do you gain? 50% armor penetration and 40% offense and 75% crit chance. Now, crit chance, to be honest, I could take or leave. Usually speaking, you're going to crit. If you are high relics, you're probably going to crit anyway, right? But getting 50% armor penetration and 40% offense gives you significant levels of additional offensive capabilities when using this team. This makes it, especially when you combine it with Shin Hati attacking out of turn all the time, and I believe she is a physical attacker. She is indeed a physical attacker, and I believe that Balin himself is also a physical attacker, and I believe that Marok is also a physical attacker, which... Oh no, Marok isn't. Marok is a special attacker. Apologies. So at least this FDC isn't going to be doing crazy things for absolutely everybody. But don't forget, Balin Skull's going to assist when, I believe it's when its allies attack out of turn, or something like that. And Shin is going to assist with every single ability. So having that extra armor penetration and having that extra offense is actually going to do significantly more, in my opinion, than the loss of defense and tenacity. And who cares about the potency? Honestly, if you're getting 80% potency, you might as well be getting 100% potency. Now, I want to reiterate, I don't actually care, I don't actually think it's a big deal that CG is selling focus datacrons. I don't care. This doesn't bother me. I'm never going to buy them. I'm never going to buy them, Tribe. Because that is an absurd amount of money to pay for a focus datacron. You can see the other ones that they've dropped don't actually have additional stats. Those are the same as what we see in the rest of the store, and funnily enough, they are cheaper. Now, it could be because they're just level 9 focus datacrons instead of being level 15 focus datacrons, so CG thinks you can, you know, charge 2.5 times more from it, but also add the extra stats. Now, my main concern about this sort of behavior is, what does it say about the future of monetization in this game? All right. If they are willing to sell quite literal upfront power, everything here, you can obtain it for free. You can get these for free just by going into the episode pass. You buy those focus datacrons, you know, so you go over here, you'd be like, episode shipments, let's go ahead and buy, you know, whatever focus datacrons that we might happen to need for this period of time that we're playing the game, and then we can invest in them when Conquest comes around. Don't get me started on the fact that we've only got one episode of Conquest to farm datacrons, and we only had them for 3 months, which means some datacron sets are only going to last for 2 rounds of 3v3 and 1 for 5v5, or 2 rounds of 5v5 and 1 for 3v3, which sometimes completely breaks the datacrons that we have, because some datacrons only really work in a 5v5 environment, and they don't work in 3v3, but they're in 3v3 twice as much as 5v5, and we'll still pay the same amount of money and get to use it for less amount of time. Doesn't make sense. Don't even get me started on that. All right, cool. I'm glad we didn't get started on that. My head hurts. Anyway, my point is, they haven't previously gated quite literal stats and power behind just pure cash. There is literally no way to do it. We saw a little bit with Maul, right? Maul, hate-fueled, comes to the game. The only way anybody in the game could actually unlock him at 7 stars is through cash. No way to do it in a free-to-play way. Now they've gone a step further, in my opinion, and they've dropped this, you know, $100 thing that gives you additional real power that you cannot get any other way. You literally cannot get it any other way. I haven't even looked at these 5-dot mods. What are these? Oh, okay. So now we're selling 15 speed mods. We're selling 15 speed mods. What is going on, guys? I mean, I bet whales are like, the thing is, like, 15 speed, it's okay. And look, it's got percentile offense as well and protection primary. I mean, yeah, that's okay. Speed, offense. I mean, the secondary stats on them are very good. But again, we're monetizing mods now. Offense percentile. You know, they're not like fantastic rolls, but they are good rolls. I can see whales absolutely going ham on these mod sets, because like $10 and I get myself a guaranteed 15 speed mod, and then I can just take it up to 6A, and there's a high likelihood that I can have, you know, an extra 2 rolls of speed, as well as having complementary stats like percentile offense already rolled 3. So these are like good sets to be working on. I wonder why the potency one... Oh, the potency ones are less because there's only 2 mods in compared to 4. Why are you giving less in some? Do you actually get both? Each mod is guaranteed. Tier A, gold, slots are shown. Pre-rolled mods, calibrated for rapid development. Where does it end? I think is where I was trying to go with this, ladies and gentlemen. Where does it end? What is coming up after this? You know, because if this stuff... It feels like CG is in this testing phase, right? They're in a testing phase of figuring out what works, what gets people to spend money. Let's see what we could do. We've got the little things over here. It's just a $5, you know, $5, you get your 15 speed mods. So, okay, maybe you'll go for the $40 on the focus Datacron, or maybe you go for the $100 for a guaranteed powerful stats that you can't get anywhere else in the game sort of thing. Maybe they'll push for the new Journey Guide event where you have to be spending like $800 over the course of a quarter in order to unlock at 7 stars. Otherwise, you know, kick rocks. There's nothing for you. What else is it going to develop? What, you know, is GAC now going to have, you know, a lock-in? You can only play GAC if you spend $5 a month. So I'm being facetious now, obviously, but seeing this sort of thing develop and change and constantly, like that little graph of how much money does CG think that they can extract out of players over time, it seems to just go up and up and up on a gradual scale. It feels like they are looking for ways and means and ways to constantly get more money out of the community and not addressing the key problems that I feel need addressing with this game. Like, sort out Grand Arena. Like, sort out not necessarily Geonosis TB, but certainly Rote. It's far too time consuming. Territory Wars, never looked at. We genuinely, CG, the last thing I want to be looking at is when we go into this new era system that Colosseum gets changed with era battles or era game modes, and we've got an era PvP system or an era guild-based PvP system where we can only use era units, and that's just a massive whale fest with absolutely no new game modes, no new ingenuity, no new push, no new drive. Just, hey, spend more money, get more better, good stuff. All right, rant over. What are your thoughts, guys? Do you like the fact that, you know, $100 FDC gives you stats that you can't get anywhere else in the game? Maybe it was a mistake. Hey, maybe it was a mistake. I'll post the video and then, you know, they'll be like, oh no, sorry, both Datacrons were supposed to have that stat spread. Yeah. Answers on a postcard down below.